Restart is a sci-fi thriller set here in Central PA. It follows Ulysses, a teenager who hopes to save the world from right here in Harrisburg. Drew Samuelsen from Carlisle joins us for today's Author Spotlight. His latest book, Restart, is available now, and we're going to talk to him about it. Drew, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. This is exciting. Tell us about the plot of Restart.
Well, when we first meet Ulysses, he's a 13-year-old boy living in Carlisle. And he begins to relate this dark tale that nearly everyone around him has died in the whole neighborhood. So technology has ceased to exist. And what he realizes is it's possibly a widespread worldwide event because there's an older couple, somehow they survived. And even though technology is not working, they're getting AM frequency transmissions telling them that it's a worldwide event. So after a few days of being home alone, no one's coming back. There's no one around. The vultures are starting to circle, they descend, and then they start to pick, and he's had enough. So he gets a backpack, puts all kinds of food into it, gets dressed up like he's gonna go play paintball, and then heads out on 81, walking towards Harrisburg, where he hopes to find his mother. And along the way, there are, of course, no vehicles moving. There's no one to drive them. They don't work anyway. Then nightfall comes, and you realize he's being hunted. So are these groups of people called the Changed, and they are hardwired to track and kill survivors. And so he has to get away from them. And that's when he meets the first other teenager like himself who is alive, who is alone, and then they form up, band together.
Yeah. Boy, that is quite the teaser. I'll tell you what, if that doesn't make you want to read it, I don't know what will. What inspired you to write such a tale here?
Well, I've been teaching for years. I've always been an avid reader, movies, TV shows, everything, but I read a lot. And so after teaching for a few years, I started to think, you know what? Maybe I know something about what kids would like to read. So when I was teaching 7th grade, Hanover Middle School, I thought maybe it's time to write one for young adults.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
That's awesome. This is your first book, you said.
Yes.
You're working on some others, but this particular book hits on some important themes. Now, you hinted at sort of how it all got started, but what are some of the themes it talks about, and why did you want to include them?
Oh, absolutely. Friendship, the importance of friendship during difficult times, trying times. So how people band together, how they support one another, how they're loyal to one another, but also the conflict comes into play when there's disloyalty. And what happens if one of them is disloyal, especially when lives are at stake? And then one more would be power, the idea that sometimes we're required to, for the greater good, wield power to help others out, but then knowing as good people when to put that power aside and to walk away from it. And then in the same vein, the idea that sometimes there is absolute power that needs to be fought, tyrannical power. So how do we fight that power? But then also, how do we maintain our humanity? And is there a time just to walk away or flee from that kind of power?
Wow. Powerful stuff. And again, as you mentioned, it's actually for younger readers, which is kind of cool. What age range would you say it's best for?
Mostly 12 on up, but
okay.
I think you could drop it down. Sometimes young adult even goes down to 5th or 6th grade.
Sure, yeah. That's awesome. And like you said, you're a teacher, so you know exactly what they're looking for, which is really cool. Where can viewers pick up a copy of Restart and keep up with your latest works?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, local bookstores.
Awesome.
You could even go to the publisher. It's a Black-owned indie publisher, Cosby Media Productions.
Okay, and you're working on another one, maybe as part of this series, and some more books too, right?
That's right.
So we want to have you back and talk about those when they come out.
I'd love it.
Awesome. So get your copy of Restart today. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. If you're a local author, you too can be right here on our couch with our Author Spotlight segment. Visit gooddaypa.com, click on Be a Guest, and while you're there, you can also check out our other author segments like this one. Click on Author Spotlight under our quick links. We're coming back after this.